It's a lot better to be a SRAM fanboy than to have a drive chain that sucks the living life out of you.
All right, to the video at hand. I don't know if I should be scared or not how this is gonna go. All right. Hey everybody, Taylor Haney, Singletrack Surgeon, coming at you with another video. And today we're here in Ridgeline for another Tech Tuesday. And we're here with Joseph again. What are we gonna do today, Joseph?
Today we're gonna be looking at tips, tricks, and adjustments for your SRAM AXS drive chain. So you're gonna be needing a 3mm Allen key. This is gonna take care of your B-tension screws, your limit screws, high and low. And this is gonna be your B-tension basically setting tool. This is going to clip onto your cog. This is a little window to line it up with the bolt on your pulley.
That is very important.
This little goodie is always hiding at the bottom of the box or in a little corner or something, and most people throw them out.
All right, let's get to the service.
All right. First thing with adjusting any drive chain, whether it's cable or AXS system like this, I mean, there's a lot of differences. Like this is electronic. Other drive chains are going to be cable actuated, but first thing you want to make sure this hanger is straight. That's always going to be your first step in any drive chain. And then beyond that, like your B tension, your limit screws, that's going to kind of be similar to another to cable actuated drive chains, but we're going to go over the adjustments as if you're working on an AXS system. So first thing we're going to do, make sure that hanger's straight. I just checked it, so I know we're good there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shift up to our second cog here. And I'm going to go ahead and check and see that the B tension is set properly. So you're going to want to take this, there's a little area there, little groove for your first cog. You're going to clip that onto your first, and you're going to rotate it back and down. And you basically want to have this little pointing piece here. You want to have that at the center of your pulley wheel bolt, which right now our pulley wheel bolt is up there. It needs to be pointing directly there. So now we're going to grab our B tension screw and we're going to tighten that up and pull that into that window. So you can see as I tighten this, the center of that bolt, that hole right there, is moving right towards that pointer. And sometimes it'll snag and kind of get weird, so I kind of wiggle it around a little bit and then bring it back down to make sure it's actually in there right, so I'm not getting a false reading of it being in the right position when it is actually not. So right now, that looks pretty good. You can see that little pointer is right in the center of that hole of that bolt. We're going to put this aside for now, and then we're just going to shift through the gears here. Next thing I'm going to do, since I'm already up on this part of the cassette, I'm going to check my low limit screw. So we're going to put it in the first cog for that. We're going to come down here. Here's our low limit screw. I'm just going to tighten it just a hair. And I see it move. So that's exactly what I want to see, actually. If I tighten it and it doesn't do anything, that means that there's a risk that this derailleur can move too far to the inside towards your spokes. You're going to overshift into your spokes, and that's going to be a bad day no matter what you're doing. Because then you're going to be on trail side trying to dig that thing out. It's not fun. So I'm going to set this thing back up to where it needs to be. You're just going to tighten this thing until it just makes contact. And then you're going to double check your gear, shift down to your second cog, back up, back and forth a little bit, make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do. And it's shifting really good right now. So we're going to go all the way down to our 12th cog here. And we're going to check our limit there because we don't want to, just like we don't want to have our chain get stuck back here, we don't want to have our chain come off and get stuck in our frame here and gouge up our frame and mess up your last cog on your cassette. That's not going to be fun either. So we're going to come in here, and again, we're just going to tighten it up a hair until we see it kind of move. And then we're going to back it off until it doesn't move, and then we're going to tighten it back up until it just barely makes contact. To keep in mind for your limit screws, your furthest out screw is going to be the screw that you use to adjust your limit for your climbing gear, or your furthest in. So it's opposite, the screw position is opposite of the cog position. So furthest out screw is furthest in cog, furthest in screw is furthest out cog. Now we're gonna go to shift up the cassette, see how this thing is doing here. So we're going from 12 to 11, we've got a delay. It shifts, it does it, but it's kind of slow, I don't like that. So we're gonna do a micro adjust here, and how you're gonna do that is on this particular drive chain, the way this AXS system is set up, your pivot forward or pivot up is what is going to move you to an easier gear. So that's going to be how you're going to adjust to make your derailleur go up further on the cassette. So basically you're going to push your linking button here and push this, your shifter button, at the same time as the link button there. So if you want to move your cassette further in, you're going to mimic the movement of your shifting. So we want to move it further out, we're going to do that. If we want to move it further in, we're going to do that. Now, depending on how you have your drive chain set up, it could be opposite of that. So this system has been reversed from stock. So it could be, if your drive chain is set up like that, it's just going to be the other way around. So just as simple as that. So it's a little quicker, but it's still not as fast as I want. So we're going to do another micro adjust here. And so again, we're going to push our linking button here, and then we're going to push the shifter in the direction that we want it to move. So it's going slow, going up the cassette towards an easier gear. So we're going to push the link with the shift button. That would correlate with how you have your thing set up. So in this one, it's a pivot up to make it go up the cassette. So we're going to do that again. Oh yeah, nice and quick now. Goes up really, really nice, real quiet. No rubbing, no anything so far. I'm liking it a lot. Now, we got a little bit of rub right there. So now we're gonna have to do the opposite in that gear. So it's a little too far in, so we wanna move it a little further out. So we're gonna push our linked button here, and we're gonna push that 2 times. Usually 1 or 2 times is all you're gonna need to do. And any more than that, you're probably gonna be doing it too much. So there we go. That looks good. Yeah, I like that. That's nice and quiet.
Now you did bring up a really good point about adjusting different gears. You can do that individually, right?
You can do that individually within the SRAM AXS app. This adjustment that I'm doing here is going to mimic like a barrel adjuster, similar to like a cable adjustment, where if I micro adjust a little further in, a little further out, that's going to adjust everywhere. So you can come in and really dial in each cog with the SRAM app. So maybe that'll be another video we do here hopefully soon, where we'll go through and really dissect the app and go through all the different options, because you can do so many different things with the AXS drive chain. Can't say enough good things about it. You can micro adjust each gear. You can set up your shifter so if you push and hold, it drops multiple gears. Push and hold, it goes up multiple gears. You can check battery life. You can check all kinds of cool info from that app. Highly recommend, if you've got an AXS drive chain, that's something you want to be familiar with, at least a little bit. As I mentioned before, on the app you can check battery life, and if you're anything like me, you probably won't do that or forget to do it. And as I'm very on top of keeping my derailleur charged, I almost never check my shifter battery. And something to keep in mind, if you're at the bottom of a valley and this thing dies, because that's of course where it's going to happen, you can use this button on your derailleur to do manual shifts to bail you out. So one click is going to take you to a harder gear, and a double click will take you to an easier gear. And you can use this to manually shift this AXS drive chain, even if your shifter is not working, not responding, or you don't have a battery because you forgot to change it.
Joseph, thank you for fixing my bike and getting it running. As always, if you are in Southern California and want your bike ready for a race, you gotta bring it here to Ridgeline, because he will get it running and, well, you'll just beat everybody. Trust me. But a lot of people wonder, man, AXS is really expensive. What's the cost associated from switching? Because I think a lot of people are like, man, it's just way too much money, I'm not even gonna look at it. What's the cost of just throwing on like a GX axis?
A GX axis you're gonna be looking at, this is a GX derailleur here I have in stock. So full kit is gonna be looking about $650 to upgrade an existing Eagle drive chain. So this is shifter, derailleur, battery, charger, all that kind of good stuff in a kit box.
And those work with all of the sizes of cassettes and front chain rings, correct?
Yes, they do now. There are some early AXS versions that didn't get along with the 52, but there's only a few of those made.
Okay.
But not a big deal. Chances are whatever you're looking at is going to be compatible with 50 or 52.
Well, thank you so much, Joseph. And keep in mind, if you're looking at buying bike parts, or of course, if you need any sexy tires,
Cush cores too.
Cush core, lots of stuff here at Ridgeline. If you're in the area, stop by, grab some parts. And until next time, go fast, get drifty, and
always have fun.
You.